Ladies and gentlemen, our next presenter set himself the task, the crazy task, of going on 500 first dates. Please put your hands together for Philip Laureano. So what if your chances of finding somebody amazing were only about 1 in 100? Would you take that risk? What if you met somebody, but you had to let them go? That's exactly what happened about a couple of years ago. And as Andrew once said, if you do something enough times, amazing and unusual things will start to happen. In my case, I did this 500 times, and this is my story. So this is me back in 2011. Oh, okay, maybe a little bit more of me. The idea was I really wanted to improve myself by meeting all these women, and I was going to do that by speed dating, and the idea was I was going to meet 13 new women a week. And it was supposed to go really, really well, and I was going to be a big pimp, and I was going to have like 2 or 3 dates a week. But unfortunately, the first month, I got rejected 100 times. And it was pretty disappointing. But over time, I got the hang of it, and things got better. But there was a side effect to that. And for the first time in my life, women were starting to be a little leery around me. So women were actually thinking that I was like this total player, and I'm not. And I was actually just looking for that one special girl that would make a difference. And this was like a really low point. And I don't know which one this was. It was like 200 something. But it all changed when I actually met this girl in this cooking class that was doing these speed dating events. And I just couldn't help myself. I just had to introduce myself. She was a doctor. I mean, there's blondes, brunettes, and redheads all over the place. But she was the cool girl, and I really wanted to ask her out. So what I did is I asked her out for coffee that night. And I thought it was going to be just one of those coffee dates that was just going to be like, oh, it was nice meeting you. But it turned out to be an 8-hour-long date at this very park. And we were inseparable ever since. I just, seriously. I mean, how could you not fall for a girl who loves The Big Bang Theory, has a bigger Star Trek and Star Wars collection than you do, and then tells you that she just wants you to be happy? So for me, I did this special thing where I used to write her these letters, and I used to say, you know, I'm so happy to be with you, and one day I will marry you. And she didn't know I was writing these letters. The reason why she didn't know is because I was actually writing these letters into the future. The plan was I was just going to tell her these things as they were happening. And because we talked a lot about growing old together. So the idea was she was going to get these letters like 20 or 30 years in the future, and she'd see it through my eyes, my 30-year-old eyes right now when she was 60. And I really thought she was it. Unfortunately, when we got to Fiji, things changed. You're not going to like this part. So turns out she was angry. I couldn't figure out why she was so angry. In fact, she was sitting in that very chair right there, and she looked at me with these angry eyes, and she said, "Exactly what do you do in this relationship again? If you can't do anything, you could just go fuck off." I didn't know exactly how to react to that. So, needless to say, if somebody tells you to go fuck off, it's pretty much over. A week later, of course, she got her bearings again, and we were back in Sydney. And she apologized, but I just said, you know, this is not working out. and I just needed to let go. So for me, as somebody who's dated about 500 women, there's only one thing you can do when things don't go your way. Well, the only thing I'm going to do is really go for another 500. My name is Philip Laureano, and thanks for having me.